My name is Dr. Friederike Landau-Donnelly. I'm based in Berlin, and I'm an incoming visiting professor at the Human Geography Department of Humboldt University, Berlin. My research interests are quite diverse. I'm a trained political theorist and by now an urban sociologist and cultural geographer. And I'm interested in cultural policy making and cultural governance. So the way that artists or artist associations work together with politicians and policymakers, administrators, arts councils, artist unions, and their entanglements, how they communicate with each other, how they make claims, how they co-design policy, and how, in the larger sense, they participate together in shaping the notion of culture, but also the political ramifications of culture. Besides cultural policy and cultural governance, I'm also very interested in the role of museums and the way they play, a role as public spaces, and how museums as cultural institutions are just one place where people can go and experience culture. So I care about the definition of what a museum is, but I'm also quite interested in the more activist approaches to challenging the notion of what museums are. And that leads me to my last research interest, which is the notion of art in public space, and in particular street art, such as murals or graffiti, how art and culture inscribes itself into the public realm. I think international cultural relations have always been important, but my feeling is that they're becoming more and more important these days, where we live in a time, an age of conflicts and of a difficulty to reach across to other humans, to other communities, to other nation states or regions that are not quite the same as us culturally. So I think in this time and age and the way that I do my research, international cultural relations can be a realm where we find constructive ways to mediate differences. So in general, I'm always of the opinion that differences or conflicts between people and communities and societies are not a bad thing or not per se a problem, but we need to constructively engage with them in order to learn from each other and respectfully encounter each other. So I think international cultural relations, in comparison to other political fields, can help to create new ways of, sharing certain things and not so much sharing others. And I think through international cultural relations, we have new ways of learning about other cultures and other nation states and other regions of the world that might not so easily be transmitted or mediated elsewhere. I think, depending on my research interests, I would say one of the challenges for international cultural cooperation is finding ways, constructive ways, to deal with difference and conflict. I do know and acknowledge that there are other challenges that affect international cultural cooperation, for example, ecological sustainability, economic sustainability, and more social concerns. But in line with my research interests in conflict theory, I think the problem or the area or the arena that we need to work in with regards to international cultural cooperation is facing the fact that there are quite a number of value-related differences between cultures, between countries, between regions of this world. And we need to find processes and ways and almost tools to engage with those. I do think in order to achieve ecologically, economically, socially, and culturally sustainable futures, we need to invest more and engage more with thinking about things that make us alike, but also things that connect us in difference. So I believe there is stuff to come together about in the realm of international cultural cooperation, which is an appreciation for beauty or the search for new ideas and the imagination and the fabulation of new futures through the realm of art and culture. That is something that connects us globally. And I think in the realm of international cultural cooperation, we need to forge new equitable ways to work together across regions and let artists and cultural producers from around the world learn from each other. So I think here we need to place stronger emphasis on creating encounters, even though we might come from very different backgrounds, or creating conversations, even though at some part in these conversations value differences might pop up. But I think as a conflict scholar, again, we need to address these conflicts rather than silencing them or stepping away from them and letting each party or each region or context do their own thing. I think I'm still discovering what it means to be part of the ICRRA network because I'm such a young member, institutionally young. So I've joined because I was connected to two transcontinental colleagues, one in Southeast Asia and one in North America, who spoke very fondly of the network. And it made me curious to meet other scholars and also practitioners who are, invested and engaged in this whole realm of international cultural relations. So I think it's an interesting platform to learn about other perspectives that are not my own, because my research is mostly within Europe and transcontinentally in North America. But I also have gained a research interest in South Asia and Southeast Asia over the last couple of years. So I think ICRRA is a great place to learn, really, and to learn about how I've learned about my own understanding and definition of cultural relations, cultural diplomacy, cultural policy. And at the same time, I also think that ICRRA is a place to get engaged and to be within a structure or a capacious institution that can help us get things done or realize things such as conferences or meetings or publications. So in the not too far future, I'm very excited to be part of this both thinking and doing process. And I'm very happy to be on board. I'm Friederike Landau-Donnelly, and I am ICRRA.